Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Welcome to the Texas Ticket. This is Armando, and I'm with Taylor Fulbright.
Howdy.
B-Lo. There it is. That's the one.
Lake
That's
Conroe.
the calling card. That's the B-Local calling card now, all right? They're going to need that. They're going to need a little audio clip of you.
I will definitely give it to him.
Wow, and you heard it here first, folks. Well, nothing like a man who can deliver, you know? I'll tell you. And speaking of men who can deliver, with us today from DeepRoots Vineyards in Plantersville?
Plantersville, Texas.
I got Dean with me. Welcome, Dean.
Yeah.
Hi, Dean. How are you?
Good to be here.
I'm glad you made it out. You know, there's a few things that are really, really close to my heart, and wine is one of them.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, and I'm getting closer to you right now. I mean, we're a good 2.5 feet. What, we're 3 feet away. Yeah, and all that works out good because, you know, I really don't have much prejudice to wine. You know,
Yeah, if it's
I don't like the whites
from the
very
vine,
much.
It's a
I don't
divine.
know. I'm not a big friend of the white wines. I'm not. Are you? Do you drink a lot
Well,
of wines? Dean, do you drink some wines?
I'm more of a red guy myself,
Yeah,
but
Yeah,
when
I'm
it's
more of a red in most
crazy
cases.
hot in the summer, I definitely like our sparkling or our good dry white.
Yeah, I'm all over the map there, but with the reds like ports, cabernets, pinots, maroods, shirazes, shiraz. Oh, you influxed correctly. That we can use that influx term on the radio, can't we? I hope so, because we already did it like 3 times fast.
It's there.
So, man, you've got a lot of fun stuff going on there, and I've had some friends come and go and tell me about the great time they had out at DeepRoots. And tell us a little bit about DeepRoots, where you come from, a little bit about what's going on out there.
Man, DeepRoots is such a neat thing because my wife and I, we had another venue up north of Dallas and had the opportunity to start this one and get back home. I grew up in Navasota. It's on
Cool.
a childhood friend of mine's property. So I grew up kind of running around this property, and it's on his grandpa's old dairy farm. So we renovated, not the dairy barn. The dairy barn's still there, but we renovated a hay barn. And yeah, parts of it still look like a hay barn. But a real unique setting. Feels like you're in the middle of nowhere, but you're pretty close to anywhere.
Right, and you know, a lot of the other vineyards are all excited about having a mini Fredericksburg out there. You know, a little hill country setting.
Yeah.
You know? And why wouldn't you? I don't want to have to drive 2.5 hours, but I sure like to drive 2.5 hours, like in the same neighborhood, you know, and in the same area.
Yeah.
There's a lot of new developments coming out there too. You've got a lot of hopeful outlooks for the future with some of the new homes, residences that are coming out that way. You got 750,000 people a year moving right up 105 West out there, past Plantersville, to go out to the Renaissance Festival for a couple of months a year. And that's one of the top events in
Texas, really.
Yeah.
Southeast.
the largest of its kind. So it's real nice to have that animal right on your back porch. Did you see some benefits this year from the Renaissance Festival?
Well, I don't know how much we did. A lot of people know we're there. We're very young, but the biggest factor was the new 249 just opening, because our entrance now will be off the new 249. The grandpa's land was split in half from 1774 for about a mile, so they have frontage on each side, and the barn entrance comes from probably about a half a mile on the what would that be, northwest side of 1774 and 249.
You lost me there somewhere, but I'm sure that hope our listeners know. But what I do know is that everyone's talking about some of the communities that are coming out there, residentially speaking, and I'm sure that'll be commercially speaking shortly thereafter. But as a pre-established business, you have an opportunity to, you know, gain that part of your lifestyle out here. You know, you came at a good time, you know. And what what motivated you? Were you, other than living in Episode and family, land out here, was that the key factors?
Well, no, the key factor was my wife and I really felt a tug to get back home closer to our aging parents, and man, things just fell into place, and so our other place up there is under contract, and it'll take a while to get it all wrapped up, but we're just so excited about the future and have family components involved, and we tell the story about Grandpa Earl, who was intricately involved in the Houston Livestock Show. As a matter of fact, cool fact about him, in the early 40s, he and his buddy were the creators of the calf scramble.
Really? Cool.
Yeah, he was on various committees for well over something like 30 years, and have all his committee badges and everything up in the barn. Before they moved out there, they were on West Little York, and we have pictures of them driving dairy cattle down a dirt road, West Little York, with Model Ts in the background. So we feel like Grandpa was personally responsible for the very first traffic jam in Houston.
You got a pretty great claim to fame. I mean, that's cattle.
A lot of people forget what farm road means. It means yield to farm and agricultural that's in the area. But 1960 was a farm road long after it wasn't a farm road. And it I understand why the perspective is skewed. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a hurricane route, right? I mean, everybody knows, hey, that's the hurricane route, but they don't really kind of get that's the farm road, and it's for the farmers. It's like, why is this guy on the road, with that tractor? Well,
he belongs there.
She thinks it's sexy. She thinks my tractor.
You are a recent show up.
So you've got this New Year's extravaganza going on with the Spicolis.
Spicolis are one of our fan favorites, and man, we just love these guys. They're going to be around a lot next year, and they did our very first New Year's Eve last year.
80s style music, right?
Think MTV classic rock style.
Lots of neon.
Big hair.
Yeah.
Spandex.
Zubas, the pants.
I do not want to see you guys in spandex.
I am not wearing spandex, unless we're going as Batman and Robin or something,
You may see me in spandex.
More sidekick, go sidekick. No, I'll be the sidekick. That way you can do all the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But I'll go sidekick. You go Batman. I'll be your Robin, bro. Let's go.
Oh boy. Well, see, since you're gonna be Batman and Robin, we'll have a rope for you hanging there that will have the hay bale on, because one of the cool things, I always thought there'd be people like me, old guys that didn't want to stay up till midnight. So we dropped the lit hay bale from the top of the old hay barn at 10 o'clock. And we call that midnight DeepRoots standard time.
I'm liking everything about this event. And even after it's going to be over at 10 o'clock, that's perfect.
Is it over at 10, or is that just when the ball drops?
It drops and then we slowly dissipate. But the bottom line...
When you say slowly dissipate, you mean like the law is going to drive us out from one end of the place to the other, like the cattle?
No, we won't do that.
Cool. Okay, I'm just making sure, because that's how they do it at the other places around town. It's 2 o'clock. You got to go, sir. I'm just eating. We don't care. Yeah, we don't care.
Out of here.
Yeah, you got to go, bro.
I mean, you have...
I work here. We don't care.
You have food. You have all the makings of a spectacular New Year's event. Food, fun, the lit hay bale drop, the out at a specific time that's not keeping you up till midnight, which is great for just about everybody. I can't stay up that late anymore. It's just not for me. But what are some other things that will be happening there? You have live music or anything that's going on?
The Spicolis.
I mean, not just the Spicolis, but like after. I mean,
after New Year's,
is there like is there a celebration? Is champagne
after party? Your house?
Absolutely, we do. Well, at the hay bale drop, we'll have a drop of the hay bale, and then we'll have champagne, but of course some of the greatest Texas wine and around. And the reason I know it's great is because I didn't make it. We work with some of the finest winemakers in the state of Texas, and so we do it a little bit different. I work with 4 to 5 primary winemakers, and so no matter if you like sweets, reds, whites, sparklings, we have a very high consistency of quality wines, again, because I didn't make it.
Do you intend to at some point?
Oh, I don't know. We are getting our brewery license. We're going to be a brewery probably within the next 6 months as well. But
cool. We love breweries.
Yeah,
just so you know, putting that down in like a mental note.
Well, good. You're going to have to come back then.
really like the beer. You know, I mean, I don't know. Just
Well, I'm full-blooded German, so maybe I should have been in the beer business before the wine business. But it just worked. It worked out that way. But I'm grateful about to be in both.
now you've got something a little closer this Sunday, right? 12/11.
We've got a sipping shop going on this Sunday and a Merry Christmas Christmas event on Saturday night with my great friend Daleen Rochelle, who has a brand new Christmas record out that's all on Spotify.
You heard it here first.
Tighter.
Gate line.
Yep.
Daleen Rochelle, you said.
And Richel, good Canadian, what is it? That'd be French Canadian, but just has a brand new Christmas record out there, and I was listening to it on my way up. It's real nice, and she'll be in here with her mandolin, fiddle, and
Really?
Bass and
nice.
3-part harmony of the 3 beautiful ladies. Man, it's going to be a really
Did you
nice
say there's
night.
more than one lady over there?
More than one lady per night.
Saturday, you're gonna have 3 ladies in that band with Rochelle.
That's Saturday night. Yeah.
Okay, and there's a mandolin and a fiddle. Mm-hmm. Now I don't know, but you ain't really kicking it unless you got a fiddle in the band.
I couldn't agree more.
I mean, I've seen some people break this rule and still kick it. You know what I'm saying?
But if you're gonna play it,
if you got a fiddle at halftime, you don't need to even be that good. I think we could start a band if you knew how to play fiddle.
I can't play fiddle.
Well, there goes that. We'll work on some other ideas as we move along. But
I tried that for about one painful week in college and tore my poor roommate's ears up, and so I promised I'd never do that again.
Fiddle exercises there in the dorm room.
But Sip and Shop Sunday, partnering with a Woodland School of Rock. They're great young people, man. This is such a cool thing. These kids are so talented. It's a great partnership. We give them a great stage to play on. Don't charge them a thing, and they bring their people in, and people find out about us that never knew about us.
Well, there's so many. I'm sorry, you go
Well,
ahead.
no, I absolutely love a venue that allows for the youth of the area to come in and experience something they more likely would never get the chance to experience. So having you allow them to come out and come play for people out there, get them set up on a stage that they normally wouldn't be set up on, that is fantastic. And thank you so much for doing that, just for the community.
Absolutely. And
Like,
we've been as a show, we've been super focused, on the young musicians.
Yeah.
Cameron Concepcion
Yeah.
and Amanda Greenwood and even Peyton Howie. I know she's grown up and she's flying away from the nest now. I think she's heading off to San Diego, Anaheim right now for a show over there. I think it has to do with their Country Music Awards and something like that. But it's a big deal. She's giving away free tickets. I'm like, I can't come over there for that. I mean, damn. I'd love to. Your hair looks great, but I can't make it. But she's played at the Cowboy Church right there outside of Montgomery.
Yeah.
And now she's just all over the place doing great things, comes right out of this town. And we've seen School of Rock just open a new store here in Conroe. Mm-hmm. And we also have one in the Woodlands, one in Houston, several. And then we have Aspire Music there on 105 West. And that are all teaching young people. We have what's the Ashley group out in the Woodlands? You know them.
That's the one with Cameron.
And Amanda, Cameron teaches there. What's her
Street.
name? Morgan Ashley? Or it's not. That's I think a brokerage company.
I'm not sure. I know that it's right out there at Market Street.
Sarah Ashley or something like that. But and you can catch our last episode at facebook.com/TXTicket, and you can catch that last episode with Amanda Greenwood, and she's been at both those places, School of Rock and the Morgan Ashley.
Wow.
Whatever that other place is, and I know they're both, and I hate to say whatever because I know they're both really good, because the only reason we hear the names is because they filtered through all of those trials and tribulations and classes and ended up pitch perfect or really close to it or really at close. It or just talented and 21, 20 years old and ridiculously talented. And I mean, they're going to get better. These kids are going to get dangerous. There is so many of them that, we're without a doubt giving them some more talent.
And giving them a place to play. I mean, that's really key to what was really needed to get that musical experience.
Yeah, one final thing on that. We don't have a date yet, but we're working toward having them open for some of our other shows. Tribute band, the possibility of open for Spicoli's and giving them a platform to do like a 30-minute set.
It really inspires a career, for whatever it gets them so excited, they and just when they come on the show, you can see them just get nervous, excited. The older guys, they don't. Are we going to start now?
Yeah, it's that,
You're like, yeah, man, well, go ahead. Get us all.
it's that like Christmas
You can
spirit
feel
that
them,
you can see.
I can feel their excitement, their nervousness, their thrill, and it translates, I feel it, and I think it'll be a good ad out there. And I definitely would like to ask everybody to come out and see that. That's on the 11th at DeepRoots Vineyards. And that's 105 Far West, a little past Plantersville. Or before Plantersville.
If you're coming from Tomball area, come straight down 249 and go just past 1774. If you're coming down 105, go to 1774. Take a left, go under 249, and take a right.
Okay.
First gate on the right.
And just a couple more things I want to talk about before we cut you loose. And I know you're a busy man. Now you're running 2, but you'll be settled down when you get down to 1, right?
And I'll be glad.
Okay. Well, we get more in touch with getting in depth and sit there and drink wine for an hour. Because we get an hour show once a week on Fridays right here at Lone Star Radio, and you have a silky chocolate wine. Is that the cab?
It's a ruby cab.
It's a ruby cab,
and the nose on it's just insane. It smells like a Tootsie Roll standing up in the middle of your wine glass. And I like to tell people it's too sweet for my palate because it is a very sweet wine, but it's my favorite wine. Why would that make sense at all, Armando? Because I own the place and it sells more than any other wine.
Well, that
is the sweetest one.
That is the sweetest one.
Well, that says that a lot of people like. Is it infused with anything, or is it just straight Cabernet?
The chocolate is a chocolate oil. It's an essence of oil, so it's not really chocolate, but it'll fool you for sure. And it's I've even heard people putting it over the top of Bluebell homemade vanilla.
And the Alicante Boucher?
The Alicante Boucher is a brilliant big red made for us, and our Tempranillo made for us by Bob Young, named by San Antonio, Texas Winemaker of the Year, 4 years in a row. He's out of Comfort, Texas.
Comfort. What's that winery he works at?
Bending Branch Winery.
What is it?
Bending Branch.
Bending Branch.
Go there and tell Dr. Bob. He's a retired surgeon out of the Houston area, making wine commercial now for probably 14 years, I think. And man, it's good stuff.
Really.
So we have a libation festival coming up in next year. It's down the road. But in the process, we've been asked about local makers and creators of beverages. It's the Libation Creation Festival. We'll talk more about that later. It's still on the chalkboard. Well, it's on the slab. But when we were talking with Chris Gray over at B52, and that's Chris with a K, he was asking if anybody sold cider. Do you know cider folk?
I don't know a cider folk, but when we like I told you before we went on there, we're going to get our brewery license. We're working on it. TABC doesn't make that very easy for a winery, but that is a plan to have a cider. But so I don't know of anybody.
It's interesting.
B52 doesn't,
I love
though?
a cider.
They do have a canned
Okay,
version, but it's I think it's canned, and don't quote me on that.
Okay.
But I believe it is, and they were surprised me with that. But the idea was, they're hosting the event. The idea was to bring some outside vendors that actually make these things as well, and in a non-competitive sort of celebration of what Montgomery County does, and what all the creators here, and and when searching for local cider makers, I was on the short little list, and the others. We can talk to one. I think there was like 500 licenses for mead, and now there's like 5,000 over a 5-year period. Yeah, and then the winemakers have doubled, tripled, and these things are exacerbating huge right now, and we've seen a lot of that, but what we haven't seen is any cider on the list, and that was a real curious spot for me. And I know you're a little more worldly, going to Fort Worth and back and dealing in the business. Like, well, you're soaking in that business. I mean, these people got to be all in your Kool-Aid on a regular. I mean, I'm just thinking, and maybe not. I don't know, but more than my office, or more than my living room. I mean, that's just not entering my lifestyle. Yeah. But I'm curious why, especially when I try to peel that onion back and go look for them, and they're just not to be found in Montgomery County or nearby counties. I'd be curious if you come across one.
Is this like a processing deal, or is it?
If you make cider.
Yeah.
What is cider? Do you know?
I think the process is the same as a beer, just different elements, but I'm not 100% sure of that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll look to find out. I want to know, and that's kind of what the festival.
I thought there was only just a few ciders within the area.
All right, that's
maybe
what I'm
Austin
thinking.
has one or two or something like that. Maybe a few around here, but not too many. I absolutely love.
I'm
ciders.
curious. Really?
I do. I really like them.
I'd like to sit down with some and see what happens. Who knows? You may like it, you may not. I get introduced to a lot of beverages that I've never tried before, and the firm meadery being one of them.
Wassail.
Wassail. Yeah, let's drink a little wassail. Little eggnog, who knows? But, then they start trying you on this triple berry hot. What was it there? The firm had the cinnamon and spice warm for the Conroe Christmas on the Square. And they were serving it in a teapot, it was crazy weird. It tastes like a hot toddy. If I got sick, right, and I had a cold or one of those flus that we used to have, I would I would drink a little of this, and it's almost like an instant cure. It was the same as the hot toddy I made last Grand Marnier.
Next to that, though, the best thing you can do is come out and see us, because we do s'mores on a regular night out there. Big old fire. Come out there, get a s'more. I'm amazed at how many poor city folk have never had a s'more. So we like to introduce them to the country a little bit, and that good laid back vibe about hanging around a fire and doing a good s'more.
Do you know what the term cold shoulder came from?
No.
No? Do you? Mm-mm. Right. Well, I really thought you'd say yes. Well, if he does, and I'm sure he knows. Well, the cold shoulder was that in the barns and in the storage in days of old, it was that there was always a shoulder hanging of smoked meat, right? And it usually was the cow, the steamship round, they call it now. But the cold shoulder hung in the barn, like prosciutto in Italy. It would survive, 20, 30 years out there, So when a fair weather guest came and you had to serve them, you gave them a slice off the cold shoulder, right? So, but it was still far from the street, you didn't have a cold shoulder if you weren't a farm or animal raiser, or there was no cold shoulder to be had.
So you are worldly.
Yeah, well, that's all worldly. Well, we're looking back for this bit, but and then you could stay in the barn. Now, I'm just curious now on New Year's. Say, I've had a little too much of the chocolate, whatever that is, the silky chocolate. The silky chocolate. The Conte Boucher, which I think would probably be where I'd find myself. I do like a good port, so I'm thinking maybe silky too. So I'm not taking whatever that is out of the program, because everybody seems to like it. Right, and I am a port guy, so it smells like I'm going to like that too, but I haven't tried it. But the Alicante Boucher sounds more like my day to day.
It's fun to say it.
What's the best thing to pour with what's the best thing to pair with the s'more?
We like to say anything pairs well. Any DeepRoots wine pairs well with the s'mores is what we like to say.
I can believe that.
No.
Well, do you ever plan on making a wine out there? Make your own, all just hands on, just to say?
Not. I don't know. Not for the foreseeable future, because we will be making our own beer. It's a different TABC type of thing, but we're just so. We love the process of contract. We contract our grapes from the High Plains area.
Yeah.
And so we're working directly with farmers that we get to a particular winemaker that we want them to make a particular style for us. And then they do such a good job. We bring it in branding. I like our process. It doesn't mean the others are bad. We're not knocking anybody else.
And there are twofold to that comes to mind when you share that with me. One, just as of late, I've started differentiating Texas wine by vintage, by taste. Never before have I tasted Texas wine and told you what vintage it was. But there are a few wines now that I have learned that, 2017 was a real good year for Texas grown wines in the High Plains.
Absolutely.
So when I find a 2017 Texas wine, I'm a little more apt to getting it but this is new. This is a new thing. I've asked a lot of people, do you seek out a particular vintage of Texas wine? Oh, no, it's Texas wine.
That's not true. You were more correct than not. We've had 2 tough years with 2 hard freezes after bud break up in the High Plains area that took a significant amount of the crop and caused a Texas wine shortage. But so 17 was a fantastic year.
It was, and I got gifted a few bottles of some Texas 2017s here and there from some different vineyards, and man, I tell you they were just different, a cut above. They were definitely nice. So one of the things that is new to me, and I think new to Texans in general, is being able to identify their Texan wines by region or vintage, and more so vintage than region. I mean, High Plains, Texas is predominantly the distributor for most of the state. So when you aggregate out of that, it just, I don't know how important that is, but it's just less important as it's less significant, I guess. And that's just linearly speaking, not by taste or grape or anything, or even varietal. But when we get down to the years, there's clear cuts there. Region, I get it. I mean, you got a majority shareholder, but vintage is a new animal, and I'm really enjoying some of that. But that was one of the questions. And two, the other was when you start producing a wine, I think the entire it puts you in a different allotment with the rest of the wine society that's soon to be in our area, if not already. And from the Blue Bonnets out there to the Bernhardts, to the Messina Hoffs, to the and the folks out in San Antonio, the folks that you work with, and I'm sure they would love to still be your vendor with distribution for maybe a particular label. I don't know how it all works, but I know there's a different the way they play with you is different.
Right. Yeah, it is a lot different. We're not doing any distribution at this time. We're selling all that we can really get our hands on now. Yeah. Now, coming out of the Texas Shorter, we might look at something like that, but it's not on my high priority list, to be honest with you.
And you got beer coming out though, right?
Yeah, we don't have an exact date on that. We just finished our permitting process, so cool. That's a huge thing because that makes me want to. That process, I'll never permit another thing the rest of my life. Ever.
Well, on-premise shares, things like that, bringing outside vendors, moving yourself to other place venues, like distributing your product at other venues, it requires new licensing as well as you go. But those are a little easier to get, right?
Yes, that is, I'm told, much easier to get.
Yeah, and me too. I believe that is the case. And supposedly you can go get one to day issue, week issue, month issue type thing, and get them in there. Not even any cost to these things. Right. Well, the city will help with that, and the state of Texas, the Texas Alcohol Board and Commission, and they can work with you on those things. And I'm sure you're having a wonderful time navigating the process. Much learned, and but anything in closing, anything left for us to share that you want to share about DeepRoots? I wanted to get back to Halloween and your scary hay rides and all the other fun stuff that I know, but I've always coached myself, don't look back, look forward, talk about things to come, not what's happened. But there was so much that's happened out there that's so good that we haven't been a part of that I'd love to, and going forward I want to get a little more in tune. And so what is there anything else in closing?
I think the main thing is if you follow us on Facebook or Instagram, you'll always be in the know. We're doing the early next year. We'll be doing a thing called Sunny Sundays, where if we see the conditions are right, we'll be doing music out on the lawn and pulling it together. We just don't like to sit there when it's 40 degrees and misting rain with nobody there. So we're it's very important to follow us on Facebook, share with your friends. We want to be a big part of this community, just like Bernhardt has served it so well. Jerry wouldn't even remember me, but he mentored me some 8 years ago before I started my North Dallas venue. And what a great guy he is. And so we followed in his footsteps quite a bit up there, and I look forward to getting together with them and partnering with them and continue to strengthen this really neat community, like you said, of people that if you don't drive so many hours to Fredericksburg, you have more time to drink wine, less time to drink.
And they're all talking about this. Yeah. I mean, they want it. I was concerned, and they're like, man, the more the merrier. This is just good for us, and we've got word of a few different breweries opening up and a few different venues opening up. It's just good for the community, good for the area, and I think there's enough musical talent growing in this area to keep us all happy and entertained, as well as a good beverage in our hand.
Yeah, and the other thing is we just like the New Year's Eve thing, we kind of geared toward that earlier thing. So during this time of year, our live shows generally go from 7:30 to 9:30 ish, and then there's people just hang out around the fire, do the s'more and stuff for a while, and then in the summertime we go a little bit later because it's just hot. And so we capitalize on getting people out there during the day, still watching the sunset, and then coming inside to the barn, and we start generally about 8 o'clock then.
It's fantastic. And I'm
What
sorry,
was
go
that
ahead.
Instagram one more time?
Yes, that's where I was going to ask.
Just look for DeepRoots Vineyards on
Vineyards.
Facebook or Instagram, or go to our website.
And we'll
click
share
on
those
that.
links
we'll
below.
have
If not, they're on Facebook.com/TXTicket, which I hope is easy to remember. And, and we'll share those links. We'll put those out on our Instagram and our Facebook, and Golakeconroe will share that as well.
I can't wait to see the School of Rock kids out there. That's
Right, I don't know those kids. Those kids are from that school, though, right?
Oh yeah.
So they're just a little hop away, but they're probably not the same kids that we've been. Maybe because that's the same kids. Amanda, it was from the Woodlands.
They have one in spring that I know, the spring band, but then there's other bands, Magnolia.
That's Dustin McDM Music's down there too in Old Town Spring.
I've watched them at least 3 or 4 different events we've had recently, and these kids can wail.
It is crazy.
It is amazing to watch, and how they teach over there, and what they do, and how they get these kids prepared to take the stages like this.
I haven't been to the school itself, but I've seen this. They look like just multiple studios in one house or room or building, and
I mean,
these studio.
Well, these kids come in and they're so unassuming. They're not in your rock star gear or anything.
No
so
spandex.
They're ready to get up there and just kind of play for
regular hair and
for
everything.
Their parents or whoever show up. But having venues like this and having a venue for these kids to get
just
that
an opportunity, a place, and I think it should still be challenging. You should still take the cream off the top. I mean, we're running a business, and I'll tell you, I think having them all come. I mean, if there's one student or one karate kid in the dojo that can kill it, the whole dojo surrounds them and supports them and aspires to be just like that kid at the dojo, and so I think that even if we pull whoever we're aware of or we know about, it doesn't make them the best there. It's just, that's all I know about. I mean, I don't know the whole
just
classroom.
Come across our bow.
Yeah, I don't know the whole classroom, or I might have picked somebody else. I mean, but the fortunate opportunities when you bring the whole school out, and there are some local folks that you can continuously be able to support. Some other venues, I think, was the reason why we wanted to bring that up. Even you've got a School of Rock in Montgomery. You have Aspire Music on 105. You've got DM Music in Old Town Spring. You have another School of Rock in Old Town Spring. And I'm going to tell you this Sarah lady, Ashley, Sarah, and the Woodlands. And that is the creme de la creme of one of these schools. And so is Dustin McCullough, work with Beyonce and several others. I mean, and these people are teaching these kids. And I've seen who's teaching them. They're good. I mean,
I'll say it now, the door's open for all of them. We want to be a platform for these kids. I was a young musician like that, and we didn't have those opportunities, but played very much this area, Navasota, Brenham, the fairground thing when I was growing up, and would have loved to have an opportunity like these kids. There was one girl that I just got to mention from there. I can't think of her name, but she sang Adele, then another song by Whitney Houston, and then she sang Stevie Nicks. Think about the contrast of those. And she knocked them all 3. I got chills, man. Just that she knocked it out of the park.
I love it. Well, I'm gonna wrap up now, but there was something I wanted to share there. I lost it with the Adele contrast. I was just thinking about some people singing that kind of contrast, and a few artists come to mind, and all young women, and all breaking that in different ways, and going across that whole genre of music, and playing from the American playbook, or cover tunes, whatever you want to call it, and getting those out there. And I enjoy it all. I know they're real particular about being an artist and not being up. They're all artists to me. I'm not going up there, and I can't do that. I wouldn't sound good. I think I do, but if somebody shows you, hey, here's you. What? Why didn't you stop me?
Let me do that?
I thought I was going to get off stage and get autographs. I mean, no. They're looking to throw something at you. You're horrible.
Turn up the reverb and let it ride.
Anyway, yeah, that's me. I'm not a singer, but man, I know that there's a lot of young talent. I appreciate you bringing them out. Hey, stay in touch with us about that, because we won't know unless you tell us. I mean, we'll try to keep up with the page, but and I know December 11th, at the Crichton Theater, Spam-A-Lot, the Monty Python show is coming.
That's gonna be good.
Right?
Wow.
But between the December 11th and now and then maybe even thereafter, if there's young people playing out at DeepRoots, I will be the Spam-A-Lot. I'll share that with everyone out there. I will Spam-A-Lot.
Spam-A-Lot.
All right, well, happy holidays. Hey, thank you for coming out, dude.
We appreciate y'all so much.
Every Friday, tune into Texas Ticket on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM with Armando Nino of Golakeconroe, focusing on Montgomery County area events and places. Get a feel of the Texas spirit at the event, paired with guest and vendor interviews, event coverage, and ticket giveaways, and so much more. Join us Fridays and punch your Texas ticket. For more information on the show, visit irlonestar.com/Texas Ticket.
Welcome back to the Texas Ticket. This is Armando with Taylor Fulbright.
Howdy, howdy.
And I'm about to kick off the Punch Your Texas Ticket segment of the show. Yeah, and we're going to sing that from now on, I think. Maybe not.
Gotta
Maybe
punch
not.
it!
No promises there. We need to... What's that last thing you did just then?
The Punch Your Texas Ticket!
No, the one after that.
Punch it!
Yeah. I like that second part. Please leave a note in the comments what you think about the first or the second part of Taylor Fulbright's Punch Your Texas Ticket.
It's almost as good as
along.
Be Local.
That's good. That's real good. You ought to trademark that. It is, isn't it?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, so there's a lot of great events happening in the Punch Your Texas Ticket segment for the holidays. A lot of folks coming out doing different things, and it's starting this weekend, tonight, Conroe, Texas, Montgomery County, and I like to keep a country at my house, and so we brought in LaKeisha from Rockin Promotions to talk about A Country Christmas.
Yes.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to stop and invite everybody out this Saturday, December 10th, to the newest and hottest venue in Conroe, the Shout House. Rockin' H will be presenting A Country Christmas with Nate Nelson and the State Street Band starting at 7:30 and followed by Braxton Keith at 9:30. Make sure to tell all your friends to come out. It's going to be a not-so-silent night of fun. We will have an open dance floor next to the stage, or you can kick back by one of the many fire pits and enjoy the live music. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, along with our website, www.rockinhpromotions.com, for all of our future events.
Sure.
And also, we just look forward to seeing everybody Saturday.
Are there vendors at that event?
There is not vendors at this event.
So this is a dining room, right? They serve food all night?
Yes, food all night, dance floor all night.
Can you dance? I mean, is it?
Yes, there's an open dance floor, and so you could dance out there.
Can we dance there?
I'm not much of a dancer, but
right. I'm sure there'll be several folks out there.
There'll be several folks out there.
Do you dance when you go out? Not like I'm going to ask you. You can't dance with me. I'm just curious if you dance.
Yes, actually. I'll dance with the entire room.
Can you line dance?
I can. I can do it all.
Cutting out Joe?
I've been known to cut all of the rugs. So
fantastic. Well,
but the fire pit, like I absolutely love fire pits. Like that's where you get your soul mended.
Absolutely. Lots of fire pits. If you're not up close to stage, you can go in the fire pits and enjoy it as well out there.
Is the dining room inside open, do you think?
Yes, it will be open.
Okay, and Bogart Gutierrez is out there. Our good friend Bogart. Conroe's friend and bartender, Bogart Gutierrez. You can find him at the Shout House. Yeah. Just throw that out. He's going to be there. There's a lot of other good things going on this weekend, and we're going to bring up next weekend, and I think we even have a couple of DeepRoots was here right before you got here, LaKeisha. Okay. And they drug us all the way out to New Year's, which I wasn't trying to do on this episode. I'm trying not to. I don't want to
close, though. There's still a whole lot more to get to before we even get to the next year.
It's not even ready yet. I mean, that's still in the works.
There's at least like venues with 3 snowball fights before we get to the New Year's market.
And you can't let people freak you out that you're not going to get a seat or a table for New Year's. I mean, I assure you, I can't even write them all down, on how many places.
There's so much stuff going on.
Right. I mean, granted, if there's something particular, you might want to jump on it, and I hope everybody listening here to the Texas Ticket, for the Punch Your Texas Ticket segment of a Texas show on Lone Star Community Radio, that Rockin' H Promotions is putting on A Country Christmas. You can punch your ticket out down there at the Shout House. Yeehaw! Not so silent night tonight. December 10th at the Shout House. Come on, catch that. Thank you, LaKeisha. Thank you so much.
TV
They got big TVs.
Going on.
They got beer, wings, all the things we love.
Big Jumbotron.
I
asked them about fishing in the pond. It was frowned upon.
Just don't get caught. You know how that goes. All these golf courses, we've all learned our lessons. And don't eat the blue fish. That bluefish is not good. It can cause cancer and other things with young people catching bluefish in gall ponds. We just want you to let you know those are not edible.
Gross.
Do not eat that or feed it to anybody you really care about. Well, I'm going to go on with some of these other happenings in and about town. And,
what's happening tomorrow?
There should be Christmas shopping happening tomorrow. That's what should be happening, Taylor Fulbright. From Be Local.
Yeah, I mean, and you should be out there. A lot of these different places have gift cards, which is, and let me tell you about this little concept here. If you buy a gift card from a local vendor, your children that are off at college or wherever they are that come into town will be forced to spend that money here and come back into the community and be a part of it.
Local small business too, because you can't use a chain, because then they'll go like to Chili's in Austin. Where
so get them something here, like slice of Amish, great cheese place out there, and Hodgepodge Lodge. I mean, there's just so many different places that have gift cards that you can give out.
What about that place in Huntsville, the salon, that Color whatever?
Color Bar, yeah, the Color Bar is a great place.
Yeah.
Or if you want to take something out and do something family fun, friendly.
It's the only time Color Bar.
Longview Greens with the putt-putt out there.
Oh, yeah, Montgomery.
That is a perfect place to take the kids. I mean, it's 80 degrees right now in the middle of December. Take your kids out there.
There you go.
In the evening. Great time.
Well, December 10th. Also, that evening, the Luminary Festival, Bernhardt Winery, go out there. Yeah, and there are 1,000 candles being lit there, and they're in like the candle in a bag and sand and all that, and then they have live music, vendor area. It's kind of a kids' day. I mean, and not kids' day, but they got the kids train out, the little vineyard train. It's good, family friendly kind of setting, and it's different. Usually it's a mixed bag of what is the prime for Bernhardt Winery, and when they open up the doors to the family, they're doing the Texas during the day, the Texas vendor market and all that stuff. So you can do some of that there. Then head over to Shout Outs for dinner. Yeah. Also, there is at the table at Medley, December 13th. Medley. There is a charcuterie festival. Actually, it's a charcuterie class. I don't think it's a festival. I'm sorry, my bad. I'm thinking about an old charcuterie festival I was talking to Dean about. But the charcuterie class. Now, I'm not sure what it entails, but that's December 13th, 12 to 2 at the table at Medley. Also, the Santa's brunch with the aforementioned Hodgepodge Lodge. Montgomery, Texas, Santa brunch. And from what I understand, him and the missus will be there. I don't know this for certain. It is just their normal brunch on December 17th out at Hodgepodge Lodge.
If you don't find Santa there, I have it on good authority that the people over at Matthews Light will give you an opportunity to talk with Santa over a Zoom meeting that is tax deductible. So if you have a business and you have a bunch of employees that have children, you could set up a viewing so that Santa can talk to a lot of different people.
But you can also find a way to get the Grinch to go to their same place, right?
Well, we might. But
do we contact you to get the Grinch to come out?
You could contact me.
Great. So if I call you and I tell you, can you get the Grinch to come to my house?
I might be able to get.
You could work something out. You know a guy.
Be able to.
You know a guy that knows the guy.
I might. But if you're looking for Santa, Matthews Light is a great
Matthews
organization.
Light for Santa.
They use their money and everything that they get, their donations, to help homeless in the area. So it's a great foundation to get involved with. It's Matthews Light, great people. Santa and Mrs. Claus, they have an access route to you to talk to them. So it's really
fabulous.
Great.
Well, let me worsen the situation for December 10th. And I don't know, worsen, better. But Southern Star Brewery has the Hot Sauce Festival. Just saying. Southern Star Brewery Hot Sauce Festival. But, I keep wanting to know what I'm going to put it on.
I know. Like, what do you put on? Is it just the plastic clips, or do they have?
I don't know. I have questions. I love oyster crackers. You get a little bag, and you get to take one oyster cracker with every booth or something. But I don't know. But I'm a big fan of hot sauce, and I love, I'll tell you, when I was a little boy, and my dad called me in for the very first beer. And, he said, son, sit down, let's have a cold one. I'm going to have your first one with you. And I said, all right, Dad. And I was 23 at the time, so we'd already, but yeah, sure, Dad, let's do that. And he handed me a Bombshell Blonde. Yep, that really happened. That totally happened, and I just wanted to share that. You can go out to Southern Star Brewery, catch a Bombshell Blonde, and the Hot Sauce Fest?
Hot Sauce Fest? I don't know.
The event known as Hot Sauce. Yeah, you get hot sauce. December 10th at Southern Strawberry. December 18th, Magnolia Farms and Artesian Market. That's on 9th Street in Magnolia. You can go there from 11 to 3 and catch all that entails. And
I've seen so many new artisans come into the market and recently just around this area, and they've got so many cool things. So many cool things to just
like
look
it.
at.
Everybody wants to tell me they're buying local, but I'd prefer not. You know, if I want to buy local, I'll go to a local store because it's local. Mm-hmm. If I go to the artisan market or maybe a festival marketplace, I like to try things from around the world. You know, like the Otaku Festival at B52. I went there and it was like, none of these people sell local.
This is all
it was
abroad.
But you know, you can't get it anywhere else. I can't go to Walmart and get the stuff I bought there. You know, it's like, where'd you get that? What is that? Even the food I ate, it was like, what is it? You know, I don't know.
Never get our secrets.
You know, it was a lot of the, what is it? I don't know. You know, and that kind of made it cool. I like Go Texan stuff. I do enjoy that too. I mean, all these artisan markets, and I'm sure the Magnolia Farmers Market is farmers market, and it's Texas grown, bred, and delivered and made. You know, those are super cool too. I'm not taking away from any of that, but every now and then I'd like to see some hill country come to Conroe or Montgomery, and some Conroe go to the hill country, and it just brings those how we share the goods and services around the state.
No, I think when we got these new venues coming in, we're going to get these different opportunities. You know,
that's cool. I like all that. And in Montgomery on Butler Street is one property group, and my friends over there have a complimentary photos with Santa from 4:30 to 7:30, December 14th.
Nice.
One property group that's on Butler Street in Montgomery, Texas, downtown.
Find all the goods.
Home of the Texas flag. Yep. Home of the Texas flag and the Bears. The Bears. They come from Montgomery. The Bears, dude. Yeah, and that's Pictures with Santa. That's actually complimentary. This coming Tuesday at Red Brick Tavern. Now this one's near and dear to my heart because we're going to be there.
Yep.
You gonna make it?
Yes, I will.
We're gonna try and both be there, so there'll be local radio celebrities. And I want to say it's weird to say, but it felt good, you know. and we're bringing in Eureka Heights, and that's a brewery out of the Heights in Houston, and they're going to the open pint night. Yeah, so all night they'll be giving away goodies, beers, shirts, keychains, swag, you know, all the stuff from Eureka Heights. You can take the glass home. You drink your beer out of as long as they last. That's from 5 to 8 p.m. Red Brick Tavern, and I believe it's Medley Street, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Right there.
Simonton.
I love their pizza. Their pizza is fantastic there. If you haven't tried, oh my goodness, it is just.
I did. Mark gave me the Deperio, man, I don't know. Deperio. It's the black olive, pepperoni, Italian sausage, tomato, and mozzarella. Kind of standard edition as far as I'm concerned. It's the big three, you know, 4, whatever, you know. Whatever, you know, it's good. And that Mark over there will get y'all hooked up at the Red Brick Tavern Tuesday. We're going to be there between 2 and 3 next Tuesday. So, or this coming Tuesday.
Yes.
Eureka Heights. We'll see you Tuesday there. And what else do we got? The Dipro pizza was good. I'm just saying. I got a December 17th breakfast with Santa, and that's at Margaritaville.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, Breakfast Santa. That's 9 to 12, I think. 9 to 12. Check that out on Margaritaville's website. But it's kind of cool they invite us out for anything. And I've seen the room where they do the brunch in. It's big. Buffet is cool. It's got, lots of tables, lots of different things they add to it and really bring it, you know, a more brunch to the breakfast. But it's labeled as a breakfast, so I don't know exactly what it entails. But, you know, I know Santa's going to be there.
Anytime with Santa's going to be delicious. So
right, anytime with Santa's tasty.
There'll be a cookie or two, I'm sure.
Yeah, he won't come unless there are cookies and milk. Yeah, he gone. You know, or he won't stay long. You know, what else do we got? Man, we're digging deep. What do you got?
There's another breakfast with Santa over at Incredible Pizza that's happening at Incredible Pizza in Conroe. I think that's on the 12th.
I didn't even know they made breakfast.
And, oh my goodness.
Kids dig it, though.
A kitchen's a kitchen over there. I've had some amazing things out of their kitchen that weren't pizzas. So Incredible Pizza in Conroe's got the meeting with Santa on the 12th. And I think that's all I have right now.
December 14th, the Pokemon League will be competing. There's a Pokemon League. And that's in the evening, December 14th. You can find that on woodlandsonline.com. Did you
Yeah, there's one more.
You're going to say the Scotch tasting at Kirby's, aren't you?
No,
I
wasn't
talk
gonna
about
say
the
that.
December 13th, 12 to 2 p.m. Scotch tasting at Kirby's Steakhouse in the Woodlands, right? That's what you were going to say?
That's going to be delicious, actually. I might have to change my answer.
Stop that. That's not what he's going to talk about. What are you going to talk about?
There's actually a sports card show coming in tomorrow. They'll be here tomorrow. It's one of the biggest sports cards and collectibles with Conroe. Huge baseball cards, that kind of thing. We'll give you some more information in the comments for it as I get them. But that's going to be a fun and fantastic day. It's Saturday, December 10th, 9 to 4, Homewood Suites at the Hilton, Sports Cards and Conroe Collectibles Show. Giveaways.
So I can
all
use
kinds
my
of
Hilton
stuff.
points for that?
You might not be able to use your Hilton points there,
okay. Well,
but you're going to be able to trade all kinds of different
Please
cards
call
and
for
find different things. So that's the Sports Cards and Collectibles Show.
Cool. I'd like
tomorrow.
to see if they can trade or give me like that Antique Roadshow kind of thing with some of the stuff.
I asked them to find a few cards for me, and they actually found them. Ridiculous cards. And within maybe an hour, he was like, I got them right here. Here you go.
Excuse me. Well, don't forget 1211 at DeepRoots Vineyards. You've got School of Rock.
Yes.
And you've got local vendors, Texas wines. You've also got 1231, the New Year's special with the Haybell drop at 10 and the Spicoli's. Yep. And silky chocolate. He's got my curiosity aroused this silky chocolate business. Yes, the Alcalante Boucher.
I can't say it.
I can barely say it. I got to make a face to say it.
It's
Alcalante Boucher.
Bobby Boucher's cousin.
But I bet you that
it's going to be delicious.
Yeah, it's a stunner. He said sparkling and red at the same time, and I'm sure that's not the case.
We'll have to find out. You'll have to show up to find out.
Yeah, you got to show up to find out about that. Guys, we'll see you at all these events and more. Keep following us. Let me just, before we close out, just about Eureka Heights over at Red Brick Tavern, and that's on Tuesday. And what date is Tuesday? We looked that up to see what day your Tuesday is. Well, let me tell you really quick. They've got Eureka Heights is a brewing company, and they have Buckle Bunny, Mini Boss, and Wow Factor, as well as Space Train IPA. There's going to be a lot of those, and that is on Tuesday the 13th, Red Brick Tavern, 2 to 3 p.m. Actually, it's 2 to close, 2 to 8, but we will be there between 2 and 3. If you'd like to come join us, come say hi, come visit, try one of these crazy beers from Eureka Heights with us, get a free glass, get some swag, just visit, midday kind of beer drinking kind of thing.
And have some fun with us.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
Punch your Texas ticket with us.
And we'll put up all that stuff on our page, and you can find us at facebook.com, fb.com/TXTicket, or catch us on Lone Star Radio every Friday at 1 o'clock. We're actively looking for sponsors, and we want to hear about your event. So please give us a touch base with us about your event, or if you'd like to sponsor the show or one of our episodes or Lone Star Radio, we'd love to have you. Please give us a call, follow the emails down below. Look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for joining us on the show today.
Adios.